Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives.
Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. I hesitated for just a second because as soon as I started talking, I thought of something and I was like, oh, I got to write this down. And that's the way this call is created. It's moment to moment and totally inspired. And I love when everybody that's on the call, we just create this wonderful little mastermind that I feel like we could come up with the answers to all the world's problems on this gratitude call because it's so inspired and we're so open to receive and share, and it's just wonderful. So I love everybody being on the call live, and I love all of you who are listening to the recording also, and I hope you're participating as if you were live when we do our private meditation, our silent meditation, that you take the time to do that as well and add what you come up with, what comes to you, to what we have. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Today's 4th of July, and when we have a holiday come up, it always is kind of a question, are we going to do the call today? And I think the only day that I didn't do the call last year was Christmas morning because the morning is such a big, part of family celebration and everything, so I didn't do it on Christmas, but I think we did the gratitude call every day last year. And no different for today. July 4th, usually afternoon and evening, is the big celebration time for the 4th of July. So the morning's free for us to do our gratitude. So we get to focus on something today, and some of the things that were shared before we started the call, just some thoughts of gratitude from our live participants here, inspired what we're going to be focusing on. And at first, I wrote, I'm grateful to be happy and at peace, but I added the word, just as I started to talk, I thought of freedom, and that's really what brings the joy of having happiness and peace is when we're finally free. We finally are free of the limiting beliefs. We're finally free of, negative relationships that maybe we've hung on to. Finally free of clutter in our houses that we've let go of because we have, done our permission process to give ourselves permission to be happy and at peace. So for today, our focus is going to be on gratitude for the freedom to be, let's see, I'm just going to leave it at that. Hang on just one second. Now, I think I am going to add free to be happy and at peace. Gratitude for the freedom to be happy and at peace. So that's what we're going to focus on for 90 seconds. And I'm going to set a timer, and I'm just going to invite us to write down whatever comes to you about gratitude for the freedom to be happy and at peace, and begin. welcome. We are focusing on gratitude for the freedom to be happy and at peace. All right. First of all, let's find out who just joined us.
Michael.
Hey, Michael. Welcome. All right. Gratitude for the freedom to be happy and at peace. This, where I went, was the last couple of weeks. I mentioned 2 or 3 weeks ago my grandpa died, and he was really good at just like only having things in his life that were meaningful and that were useful to him. And it was such, I mentioned to my husband this morning, it was such an easy task to clean out his house. And I thought how thoughtful that was of him. Not only, was it helpful for him to have just to lead an uncluttered life, but for us to be able to go through everything in his house. There was nothing superfluous there. Everything, there was no duplicates of anything. He had 2 monitors because he and his wife both used the computer. But other than that, it's like everything was just like, he had one gravy ladle and one, it was just such a simple life. And it was so easy for us to go through, and, the kids all went over and just kind of put our names on things that we thought we would like. And I just have really adopted that, his example, and have started going through my house room by room and just getting rid of anything that doesn't, that isn't useful or super meaningful to me and that makes me happy and feel at peace. If there's anything that offends me in that room, it goes. And it's so awesome. We did our front room first, and every time I walk in there, I look around and I'm like, there's not one thing in here I don't like. And it just is such a good feeling to have everything gone that doesn't feel good. So that's what came to me. Who else would like to share?
I wrote down my thoughts were celebrating the freedom from things that have bound me. I'm so happy to be sitting here free from what I think I need to do next or what I should have done already, just really living peacefully in this moment. And I realized, too, that sometimes things come into your life, or they've come into my life, that have caused me some turmoil and some worry. And even during that time, I was able to have freedom from this. Was able to have peace. So the freedom from worry. And then there are also times that the freedom is a gift, and freedom has come from different sources. Maybe the generosity of others has allowed me to be relieved of a worry. And so there's freedom in that. And I'm just really grateful. It's so amazing to have the freedom and the freedom to be happy and at peace, which I feel in this very moment.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I know you, and I know, some of the things you shared before we started the recording, and also we've worked together for a couple of years. And so, I know where you came from, and for you to be able to say that there's peace and happiness right now in this moment, and it's you've made such a huge shift. So congratulations, Mary. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to mention one thing that came to me as you were talking. Freedom is a gift, and it's always paid for by someone. So, whether someone gave their time, whether someone bought something, or whether it's because Christ gave the ultimate gift for us to have the freedom to be able to choose, to repent and, give our burdens to Him. There's some sort of payment that happened, and how much more grateful we can be for that gift of freedom. The price that's paid for us to have a free country. The military pays a price. So, how much more grateful that makes us for that gift to know that someone did that for us. Thank you.
I would like to add that there's the freedom of speech, and most people think of freedom of speech as to speak what you want, speak your mind. But for me, the freedom of speech, if you would go back and hear me even a year ago, speech flowing comfortably, being able to freely speak and and not be worried about anything, that just to speak what's on your mind and let it flow.
Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, there is an understanding that happens when you realize how many people suffered, bled, and died for this country, suffered, bled, and died for our power over the destroyer in many aspects of life, and just how much has been given for us. And if we, as we, like I said just before, just being at peace with that love that they had, even though they don't, Christ knows us personally, but they wanted that for their families. They wanted that for everybody here. And, I've read about George Washington and his men nearly starving, freezing to death. And so they re-enlisted so they could fight for our freedoms. And it took a little bit. It took a little bit of nudging from President George Washington, but just to realize and to express appreciation, I think, creates more of the freedom feelings and the respect we should have for women and men and their gifts.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm so grateful for the religious freedom that we have to be able to worship like we want and to have access to the scriptures and, yes, and all of those people in the beginnings of our country, because that was what it was all about. They came to this country to have religious freedom, to be able to worship how they wanted to, and I just can't even imagine. We wouldn't be on this gratitude call today. We wouldn't be talking about, Christ and the scriptures and the prophets, that suffered, and we wouldn't be having this conversation if it weren't for all of that. Thank you.
I thought of just how Viktor Frankl pointed out, we really are free to choose in any circumstances. We're free to choose our happiness and our peace. And I also thought of, I just ordered these books called The Tuttle Twins. And there's a guy that was looking for tools to teach our founding principles of freedom to his children, and he couldn't find them, so he decided to write them, and that's what came out of it, was these books called The Tuttle Twins. And I'm just so grateful for all the tools that we have to perpetuate and to teach our children how to maintain and keep the freedoms that we enjoy.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Awesome. I think of the people that brought the Bible into a place where we could all have access to it, and this guy that created the Tuttle Twins wasn't in that same situation where he was facing death. But I'm so grateful for people who, if it doesn't exist, then I'll create it. And I'm just grateful for people who are willing to step out and do that. Michael?
Well, I was listening to an interview, and the guy said he's from Slovakia, but he said he was told what he would eat, what he would drink, what clothes he would wear, where he would go to school, where he would do this and that. Everything about his life was dictated. And it's like total freedom taken away from you. He was behind the Iron Curtain. And I thought of another one years back when a 12-year-old came in the Olympics, a ballerina and something. And as she was leaving the country, they said, "What did you think most about the country?" And she said, "You know, when I get a pair of shoes, I celebrate for a month." She said, "Because we got a pair of shoes. And you don't get a pair of shoes, but maybe once or twice in, years." He said, "Over here, I watch people get a pair of shoes today, and by tomorrow they're old and they throw them out and they go find another pair. And they don't even care what freedoms they have because of where they're living." And so those that lived in hardship really understand what freedom is, and those that live in a total free society seem to become a waste and throwaway society.
That's interesting. Yeah, something to really consider. Thank you. All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and shift over to the permission process of our call. And this is an opportunity for really to check in, as Michael was saying. We live in a free country, and people have suffered and died to create this opportunity for us to be completely free. And in this free country, there are so many of us who are bound. Just like Mary was saying, she was, years ago, not even be able to speak freely, not even have freedom of speech, even though freedom of speech is granted as a gift, that she wasn't receiving that gift. And, just being aware of all the freedoms that are available to us. And this is an opportunity right now for you to have your own personal experience of where maybe you have either been wasting that freedom, not feeling as much gratitude because it is so easily accessible, or possibly that there are freedoms in your life that you maybe have not taken advantage of, that you've not received yet. So let's go ahead and just take a deep breath and just get into a place of just being neutral and open, no judgment about anything that, any choices maybe that we've made in the past. Just being completely open to receive what we get to choose today. And as you're sitting in this space of being open to just be aware of all the freedoms that are available to us, what is one area where maybe you have been taking your freedom for granted, maybe overindulging, taking too much liberty? Possibly even wasting the freedom that is available to you? And also just being open to what freedoms are available to me right now that I have not been willing to receive, that I have not fully been utilizing the freedom that is available to me. And as you look at these two different areas of freedom where we maybe have not been fully aligned, this is an opportunity right now to discover what limiting belief is keeping you from being in integrity or fully aligned, utilizing your freedom in a way that is perfect and right. What is the limiting belief coming up for you that has caused you not to be able to use the freedoms that are available to you and to overuse some of them? What is your limiting belief? And as you look at that limiting belief, I invite you to examine the cost of it. If you use this limiting belief in all areas, apply it in all areas of your life, because that's the way the universe applies your limiting beliefs. If you look at it in all different areas of your life, what is the cost? What is the consequence of having this limiting belief? And if you look at that cost, that's what this limiting belief is bringing you. Do you want to keep that, or do you want to let it go? And if you want to let it go, I invite you to give yourself permission to choose a new belief right now by saying yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and then go ahead and choose some new beliefs, maybe 2 to 3 new beliefs that are going to take the place of that old limiting belief and that will bring you a different outcome. And as you look over that list of limiting beliefs, I invite you to see these more than words. Actually bring them into your very being so that this becomes part of you. Hopefully your new beliefs start with the word I am, I have, I do, present tense. And as you're reading over these new beliefs, I invite you to really see them. See the evidence of the truth of them. And if you don't have any evidence of the truth right now, I invite you to be open to receive today, in this moment, on this call, one thing that you can do to actually create some evidence of the truth. So look over your limiting beliefs, take a deep breath, bring those words into your body so that they become part of you. Just breathe them in.
You mean new beliefs, not
New
limiting.
beliefs.
New beliefs.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just bring those into your body and have them become part of you. That from this moment on, this is the person that you are. This is who you are becoming. And the last step is to listen energetically, intuitively. What is the one most important thing that you could do today to prove to yourself that these new beliefs are actually part of who you are? What is your inspired shortcut to becoming this new person? All right. Well, we are at the end of our time, so we won't have time to share, but I would love to invite all of you to go to the Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group and share your thoughts, the things that came to you during this meditation. And I encourage you that one next step, that's your inspired shortcut. And if you only do one thing today, I know today's a holiday and you've probably all got plans, but whatever that one thing is that you received, if you can do that one thing first, the rest of your day is going to be amazing, and the rest of your life is going to be amazing. This one thing is going to prepare you to have more happiness in your life, feel more fulfilled, be more at peace, and to be able to enjoy all of these freedoms that are available to us. And I thank you all for being on the call today. If there's anybody who is wanting to get an outside perspective and just have a 15-minute conversation with me, we get some amazing things accomplished in these free 15-minute calls. And all you have to do is just go to AskWilene.com So if there's anything that came up for you today that you're would like to have new perspective on, be able to maybe integrate these new beliefs a little bit better, or maybe you had so many limiting beliefs that you just aren't sure how to deal with them all come up, then I can help you with that as well. So I'd love to talk to you on AskWilene.com, and I'm looking forward to our call tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Thank you all for being on the call today.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening, and I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileneBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.